say, so let me read it to you, okay? From the encyclopedia itself. Josephus used the Greek name Iēsous to denote three people mentioned in the Bible whose Hebrew names were not Yeshua, Yehoshua, or Yehoshua.
Okay.
They were Saul's son, Ishvi, anglicized as Ishvi in the RSV of 1 Samuel 14:49. The Levite Abishua, mentioned in 1 Chronicles 6:4, etc.
So the funny thing is, Josephus was actually translated into Syriac and Arabic. So now, if you can see here, you can see early church fathers. This is actually Josephus's quote in Syriac. So I'm just showing you again. That is the word that I'm highlighting.
There is no evidence in Josephus's writings that Iēsous was used to refer to Yeshua. Josephus employed transliterations consistent with the Greek Septuagint for Old Testament names. The claim that Yeshua was referred to as Iēsous by Josephus is unfounded, as the Greek transliteration in the Septuagint and Josephus's works does not support this. Yeshua is translated as Yesui, not Iēsous. The name Jesus is not merely a title for its bearer. In Hebrew, the name Jesus is written as Yehoshua or Yehosha, composed of the letters Yod, He, Vav, Shin, Vav, Ayin, or as Yeshua or Yeshua, composed of Yod, Shin, Vav, Ayin, Hebrew Aramaic, similar to Alexander being shortened to Alex. Hello everyone. In this Christian-Islamic debate video, we will discuss the origins of the names Isa and Jesus. The name Isa in the Qur'an does not have a clear or consistent linguistic root in tradition. Muslims also argue that the Greek name Iēsous was never the standard transliteration for Yeshua or Yehoshua, but rather it is more fitting for names like Yeshua, son of Saul, or Yeshua, son of Asher. However, this claim requires a deeper review, as the transliteration of Iēsous in Greek texts, such as in Antiquities of the Jews by Josephus and the Septuagint, is consistently used to refer to Yeshua, the name we know as Jesus in Christian tradition. Let's take a moment to watch this debate video.
Josephus, the evidence he provided for the name. Let's read from this encyclopedia. Okay? So this is probably what you read, right? Rather than the encyclopedia article. So there was a Wikipedia article. Is this what you're reading from?
Nope.
Because
I actually have the Brill Encyclopedia.
Yeah, so do I. So when you read the Brill Encyclopedia, what did it actually say? So let me read it to you. Okay? From the encyclopedia itself. Josephus, this is point number 3. Josephus used the Greek name Iēsous to denote 3 people mentioned in the Bible whose Hebrew names were not Yeshua. So now we see already last time. You have been very selective and very misrepresenting Josephus. So Josephus used Iēsous to refer to other people whose name was not Yeshua. Very clearly, this is what he's saying. They're not even, he says, let me continue reading the text. Josephus used the Greek name Iēsous to denote 3 people mentioned in the Bible whose Hebrew names were not Yeshua, Yehoshua, or Yehoshua. They were Saul's son, Ishvi, anglicized as Ishvi in the RSV of 1 Samuel 14:49. The Levite Abishua, mentioned in 1 Chronicles 6:4, etc. And Ishwa, the son of Asher, anglicized as Ishva in the RSV of Genesis 46:17. So the Josephus that you use to provide evidence for your support for your argument is actually saying this is not an evidence at all, because Josephus used the name Iēsous referring to other people who were called what? Abishua, Ishvi, Ishwa. So now you have a big problem. Is Iēsous a translation of Ishvi, Ashvi, Abishua, Ishwa, Yeshua, Yehoshua, right? You have no certainty, just like what I claim. You have no way of determining what it is.
Josephus specifically used the name Iēsous as a transliteration of Yeshua, Yeshva, or its longer form, Yehoshua, Yehoshua, as seen in the following cases: Jesus, son of Nun, Joshua, in the book of Joshua, and Jesus, son of Josadak, the high priest during the time of Ezra and Nehemiah, There is no evidence that Josephus used the name Iēsous to refer to Yeshua or Yeshua, as these names have distinct phonetic roots in Hebrew and are typically transliterated closer to their original forms. Yeshua, Yishvi. This name refers to one of Saul's sons mentioned in 1 Samuel 14:49. It was never translated or transliterated as Iēsous in the Greek texts of the Bible or in Josephus's works. Instead, it is usually rendered in forms closer to the original, such as Isvi or Ishbosheth in the Septuagint. Iēsous was the standard transliteration for Yeshua, Yehoshua, and its usage by Josephus and the Septuagint was almost exclusively limited to those names. The transliteration Iēsous was generally reserved for names with roots in Yeshua or Yehoshua, not for names with different phonetic origins such as Yishwi or Yishwa. This assertion appears to conflate linguistic facts and does not align with the proper transliterations found in ancient texts.
First of all, you are correct in that Iēsous can be used for other names. Firstly, when we go to the scripture, it tells you the meaning behind the name, that God will save. This is the same, so it comes from Yeho saves. So the Bible itself gives you the meaning of the name. That's why when you look at the Greek, you know it's not the other names, because every name has a different meaning. What you're saying, does this name sound like that name? That's what we call homophones, and you're making a mistake. For example, if I say night with a K and night with an N, they sound similar, but they have different meanings. Now, if I go and write that in an English test and I say at night time with a K, I will fail my exam. So your point that it should sound similar is actually not a point itself. It just has to translate to the same. So that's why when I originally told you that in the Greek they did not have the letter shin or the letter Y, so they had to use an iota instead. So now going back to your point of Josephus, just for the cameras, I'll show you as well. That is the rendition in Aramaic, this word here. That's the Aramaic, that word right there. So the funny thing is, Josephus was actually translated into Syriac and Arabic. So now, if you can see here, you can see early church fathers. This is actually Josephus's quote in Syriac. So I'm just showing you again. That is the word that I'm highlighting. So we've had it.
Of what to what?
This is in Syriac, which is old format.
Translation of what?
Of the name that
This particular text is.
Yeah, this is the testimony of Flavinian, which is Josephus. It was
And
translated.
when is this translation from? Which century?
This is from, they believe it's as early as the 5th century. So now Mansour will say, well, how did we know? It's very unlikely that they would have translated it into another language without actually understanding what the translation was. We also have the Arabic text, which I've highlighted the word, which is
when?
This was in the 10th century.
10th century.
Yes.
So you have 1,000 years later, right?
That's fine. Just so you can see the evidence, because this is the same text of Josephus. That's the word Yeshua. Now,
so a translation from 500 years later and a translation 1,000 years later is an evidence.
Now we have multiple sources confirming the same thing pretty much. Maybe you might have one or two disagreements, as Mansour might say.
Joshua, Hebrew, Yehoshua, Yehoshua, derives from two Hebrew words, YHVH, read Lord, and Yasha, to save. Therefore, the name Joshua, Yehoshua, Yeshua, Iēsous means the Lord is salvation, or the Lord saves. The original name of Joshua, the son of Nun, was Hosea, Hebrew Hoshea, meaning salvation. The King James Version, KJV, refers to him as Oshea. Later, Moses changed the name Hosea to Joshua, Yehoshua, Numbers 13:16, West Chronicles 7:27. After the exile to Babylon, the name Yehoshua evolved into Yeshua, similar to how Alexander becomes Alex. The name Yeshua, Aramaic, is equivalent to Yehoshua, Hebrew. Later, this Yeshua became Iēsous in Greek. The name was given by God to signify his mission and purpose, which is salvation. The name, or Jesus, is a transliteration of the Greek Iēsous. Note The name Iēsous, Jesus Christ in this verse, is changed in form according to Greek grammar to Iēsous in the genitive case. There is no evidence in Josephus's writings that Iēsous was used to refer to Yeshua. Josephus employed transliterations consistent with the Greek Septuagint for Old Testament names. The claim that Yeshua was referred to as Iēsous by Josephus is unfounded, as the Greek transliteration in the Septuagint and Josephus's works does not support this. Yeshua is translated as Yesui, not Iēsous. The name Jesus is not merely a title for its bearer. In Hebrew, the name Jesus is written as Yehoshua or Yehosha, composed of the letters Yod, He, Vav, Shin, Vav, Ayin, or as Yeshua or Yeshua, composed of Yod, Shin, Vav, Ayin, Hebrew-Aramaic, similar to Alexander being shortened to Alex. Iēsous is the Hellenized version of the Aramaic form Yeshua. When transliterated into Greek, the name was written with the suffix s, which denotes masculine gender. Note: the Aramaic form Yeshua was not Hellenized as Yeshua, but was instead written according to Greek linguistic rules as Iēsous, with the masculine suffix s at the end. This can be compared to the Greek transliteration of the name Kepha. In Greek, the nominative form was not written as Kepha but as Kephas, again with the suffix s, because Simon was a man. The suffix a is typically associated with feminine nouns, particularly in the nominative case.